First Watch on 92.3 KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, giving you an inside look into your sheriff's office. I'm Grady Butler, and with me is Carol Kappas, Public Information Officer with the Sheriff's Office, and Sheriff Mark Daniels. Good morning.
Good morning, Cochise County.
Hello, everyone.
Well, everybody's here. Sorry, caught me off guard just for a moment. I did
early.
say good morning, yes. So we want to talk about Top Cop. It's coming today. Wanted to just kick it off with that.
Top Cop School. It's a program that we kicked. That's our third year, I think, we've done this. Last year we canceled it, suspended it because of COVID. Changed our world. But Top Cop is a program that all the law enforcement agencies, local, state, and federal, you get to submit a nominee of their officer or deputy or agent of the year, or military policeman, whatever it may be. And then that goes to a committee. We recognize every nominee from every agency, and then a civilian group takes a look at it. No agency attached, no names attached. Look at the narrative. Who is this person, and or who is this? What they do, and then they pick out of all the nominees the top cop here in Cochise County. So it's really a nice recognition, and so that is today.
And we're having it at the Sierra Vista Police Department auditorium. And I just have to give a huge shout out to Staples, because they helped doing our printing stuff and just did a really good job. And Wicked Limits. I cannot tell you how those ladies, I had to take them a bag of Lifesavers to tell them, you are our Lifesavers, because I made them insane.
They've been good to us for the Cars for Kids, our charity ride. Thank you to all the folks over at Ron and Gloria and all of them over at Wicked Limits for what they do. And also, we need to make a shout-out for Top Cop today for Mike Rutherford from RDI. He's our big sponsor that's putting this together for us.
And we couldn't have done it without him, so we really appreciate that.
And one last shout-out to you, Carol. I mean, this is a lot of work. We got a lot going on at the Sheriff's Office when it comes to work. Let me just say that, with the border issues, whatever it may be, and you're the backseat person. You're orchestrating this whole program, and I know you got a lot on your plate with public records requests, all the things you do, and now you're putting this together. So thank you for that too.
Well, and Grady, thanks for jumping in there.
And Grady, thank you for backfilling that too. But it takes a lot of skill to put these together. Getting the packet together, getting everybody notified, getting the chiefs to respond with their nominees, and all the paperwork you have to have in there. And I think we had 13
we have
today?
12, and really quickly, I know that we don't need to really do this, but for people who, we're going to try to get this streamed for Top Cop, but for the Department of Public Safety, they nominated Trooper Thomas Allen, Department of Transportation, because they have certified
DOT
officers that do that. So Officer Eduardo Reza, Benson Police Department has Officer Jonathan Williams, Bisbee Police Department, Officer Jesus Valenzuela, Cochise County Sheriff's Office, we have Deputy Carl Larimer, Douglas Police Department, Detective Melita Claudio, Wichita City Police Department, Officer Miriam Baer, Sierra Vista Police Department, Officer Paul Clark, Wilcox Police Department, Officer Nicholas Williams, and U.S. Border Patrol has 3 sections. So they have the Douglas office nominated BPA Scott McCallum, NACO BPA Gregory Teschendorf, got to work on that name.
That was good.
And Wilcox is BPA Joseph Rodley. So congratulations to all the nominees.
And we will recognize all of them today over at Sierra Vista PD with a nice plaque. And then out of those finalists will be the top cop here in Cochise County for 2020.
That's right. And we can't wait to announce that. So nobody knows who it is.
I don't even know who it is, no.
That's right. I have that plaque, so we're just going to keep that secret till we get there.
Carol's got the secret ballot.
That's right.
Well, you got to do something fun this past week. You got to read to second graders.
Yeah, you can't go wrong when you're reading to second graders. And it was over at Palomino School. Their reading week was this week, and I went down there and spoke to them. And kind of a funny story. Later that evening, one of the parents of the second grader sent me a text saying, my second grader said, you're a really good reader. I go, I passed the second grade test. I'm so excited. So I graduated. But it was a nice time down there, and I told the kids, I said, you know who, besides our law enforcement family, we're all very proud of our profession, but our heroes in law enforcement, I said, you know who they are? And the kids were like, firemen? I said, oh, no. I'm just kidding, all firemen out there. I said, teachers, educators. So shout out to all our educators out there, because it's been a rough year for them as in the classroom and educating our young ones. But again, a shout out to to all our educators and all our young people, because they're all excited. Summer break's coming, so they were talking about that.
were they back in school when you were doing the reading? I mean, was there a virtual component, or were they physically there?
No, they were physically there. Palomino School, I think, is for the most part, kept them in the classroom.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, they were all there, and they're following the guidelines. They had masks on and stuff, and I had my mask on, and they said, "You can take your mask off." Yay! I took my mask off, and so. But it was a good time down there. And again, I just applaud our teachers for what they're going through.
And there was a teacher they have a JTED or a class in Benson that our
Right.
chief of staff just did a speech on. And so it's the Law and Public Safety. It's LPS. They just changed it from JTED, so that's why I was a little bit off there. So it was a graduation at Benson High School. So all of those kids, students, go through these classes, and they're able to have it as a component of learning what they want to do in their future career. So congratulations to all those graduates.
Yeah, and I call it career technical education is what CTE is what you normally call it, but from all over the high schools here in the county, from Wilcox High School, Buena High School, Douglas, Bisbee, Tombstone. They all have those classes, and a lot of the guys and gals that teach that are former law enforcement, and then they come under the CTE. Brian Cooley from DPS, Mark Marine out of Benson's former TPD, and all the way through. So they do a very good job of getting our young ones, hopefully future law enforcement officers or professionals within Cochise County.
And they do a great job.
They do, very much so.
Did you guys have a good Mother's Day?
Did, yes. It was a good Mother's Day, and it was nice. Went around, all saw my family, my kids, and it was just a good time. It was nice to relax, and it was nice to see the restaurant parking lots full. I don't know, remember last year at this time, I couldn't go anywhere. Everything was locked down, frustration was high, but it's like normalcy's coming back, and I know the CDC just changed the guidelines again. That you don't need a mask. Yeah, just yesterday, and so again, you can just see it's getting brighter and brighter, normal. So I'm happy for that.
And the health department's now announcing that they have the vaccine for 12 and over. So that's a new addition to Cochise County. So, our health department has been doing an outstanding job. They really have, trying to keep on top of all this stuff and just, clawing tooth and nail to make sure that they are addressing the concerns and the needs of people in Cochise County. Whether you're wanting a vaccination or not, again, not the issue. They are just definitely doing whatever they can to provide what they can.
Well, I think we all would agree. The biggest challenge they had navigating this whole thing was the state system. Right. Trying to get logged on to the state system. Mm-hmm. That was the biggest complaint. In fact, we talked about it on this show. I've heard many people complaining about that. And the health department took a beating on that, very unfairly, because they have no control on the state system either. But we've navigated. We can look back on that and say, we've been there, we've done it. We should all wear a T-shirt. We have a day we conquered COVID-19. So, but yeah, I'm glad it's behind us.
You got to talk to the Air Force Association this week. Tell us about that.
I did. And that's why I wasn't at the CTE graduation up in Benson, where Chief Napier covered for me. But I spoke to the Air Force Association. It's an association of former Air Force folks that live here in Cochise County. You always talk about the Army here. And even the Marine Corps I knew they have an association here, but the Air Force I'd never spoke to. So I got invited to go speak with them, and we had dinner with them. I spoke to them about the Cochise County Sheriff's Office, border issues, but just a really good night and long night. We didn't get out of there till after 9, but it was very productive. And just anytime you can speak to a military service group, you're doing good. I mean, just a great bunch of people. So shout out to the Air Force.
And so, keeping in line with that, you were talking about things that are going on in Cochise County. There's a lot going on nationwide, and we have to deal with it on a local level. And as you continue to say, politics aside, you have to make sure you address some of that stuff. So the Arizona Sheriff's Association sent out a letter. You're integral in getting that done on police reform. And so we're going to be posting that today. So let's talk a little bit about what that letter says.
Well, we've all heard the extreme sides of police reform, from defunding, getting rid of police departments. And you haven't heard getting rid of any sheriff's offices. I just want to throw that out there. But seriously, it's local law enforcement, which I call your community law enforcement, has taken a beating over the last year. There's no doubt about it. And the Arizona Sheriff Association came together and said, let's get a statement out there on police reform. And time means everything in life. So we did that. You're going to be posting that. We came out yesterday as president of the Arizona Sheriff Association. I signed the letter that was authored out of this office. And it's not an extreme letter. We think it's very balanced. And I have a huge philosophy of thinking that every day I call it swallowing the betterment pill. How can we do better the next day? And Grady and I were just talking about that. At the end of the day, reflect on how your day went and how you can do it better. Police reform is very similar to that. Is how can we do a better job of policing today's cultures and societies? And that's not easy, and it's different throughout the United States. There's no one shoe fits all in this scenario. But in rural America, where policing is different than urban, truly different, and I think we're doing a very, very good job, mainly because we're so accountable to the public in rural. 88% of policing in this country is rural. Only 12% is urban. But what do you see the landscape changing from? It's not rural. It's changing because of urban. So I'm very guarded on that because we're not urban law enforcement. We're rural here in Cochise County and many other places. So how we police is very important to us, and I think we do a very good job. And one of the things I stand up tall on is that we're not fractured. We're not broken. Can we do things better? Yes. So don't fracture us because something happened in Minnesota, which is the headline. We're not Minnesota. We don't police like that. I always say, too, is if you have a situation where officers or deputies aren't treating people right, it starts with the leader. It starts with me. It starts with every leader in that organization. That it's upon us to fix that. Those are cultural fractures. In this case, I think we do very well serving here. Out of the thousands and thousands of calls we serve and people we come in contact every year, we get a handful of complaints. And most of those are just misunderstandings. Oh, I didn't know you guys do it that way. But when it comes down to it is, yeah, it's been a rough year. So my hat off for all our men and women that serve our mission and all the law enforcement in this county. They do a really, really good job.
And this is Police Week.
And that's Police Week.
One of the things that, again, why we're having Top Cop and the National Law Enforcement Officer Memorial. So we were talking a little while ago about things that have increased for statistics, and one of those are officers killed in the line of duty.
Yeah, this 2020 was one of the deadliest years since 1974. We lost 264 law enforcement officers out there. Killings of cops are up 28%. I mean, it's just, you don't hear that on national media, but you'll hear it on this show. I mean, mainly because what this show stands for, and that is community policing. And it's very upsetting. It's very upsetting. And I think it's about every 2 days. Well, it is. Every 2 days. You remember the old 57-hour rule. Mm-hmm. 57 hours, a cop's killed. Brother or sister in this country is killed at the hands of evil. And that's numbers reduced. It's a little over 2 days. We lose a law enforcement officer in this country. So I think it's something that we need to, and killing a community cop is an attack on community. I've always said that, and I'll continue to say that. And we'll always have that bad apple in every organization. I mean, every profession has it. We do our best to get rid of those that can't serve the mission, but the reality is this, that we're human. We're human-driven. But when it comes to the accountability that we have here in Cochise County, and it always drives me crazy, and you see this, Carol, we've talked about this, when somebody get on social media, oh, that cop's bad. Oh, that's just a bad thing to say. Unless there's facts to prove it, that's a really bad thing to say. And we've done our business here at the Sheriff's Office to make sure we got the right people serving the citizens here. We've done that over the last, it's my third term in office, and over the last 3 terms, we've done that to clean that up and make sure they're out there. And one of the things we ask is, do you like people? If you like people, hey, we want you to work here. And we don't hire perfect people. We hire people that care about others, have a good life experience, and can bring a value to a community.
And so for 2020, you have all of these officers who died in the line of duty, and they're part of your community. So there were 2 officers in the state of Arizona last year that actually passed from COVID. And whether that was contracted during their normal duties and coming into contact and having, that's not a profession that you can work from home.
No, it's not, and that's a big discussion. COVID took a lot of lives last year in law enforcement, and that's a big discussion because you hit it on the head, Carol. We can't avoid doing what we do, and everybody's like, well, how are you changing your operation? We did some operational changes, but the bottom line is when there's a fight in progress or a situation we have to go hands-on with somebody, I mean, you can't think COVID. You got to think your own safety first, and then how do you neutralize the situation? So it's tough, but we lost some law enforcement officers, and that didn't help us last year at all.
Another reason we're on the national stage, of course, is the border, and I understand you have some border stats for April.
Yeah, I want to bring our border stats. Every month I'm going to update you all on that with everything going on. And this is off our camera system, the Cochise County Sheriff's Office camera system. This is not related to Border Patrol's system, just Sheriff's Office. In the month of April, we had 3,807 illegal entries. We apprehended out of 3,807 that we saw, we apprehended 1,538. That's pretty good. To me, that's very good. We had 5 drug mules and just a little bit under a pound of meth. Now for the year, which I think is another one that's a stat is, for 2021, the first 4 months, we had over 800 pounds of illicit drugs, over 11,392 illegal entries, and 38 drug mules. Now, when you see that at a local level, that's alarming, very alarming. Now, I'll say this too, and this is a Border Patrol statistic that I think is alarming on the national security level and the public safety level, that in the Tucson sector, which includes Cochise County, since October 1, they've had over 60,000 getaways. These are people that have been seen on cameras that got away. They totally got away. They're somewhere in the United States. We don't know who these people are. I mean, they were camouflaged up. They were covert. They got into through our county, through this section of the state, and got into the United States. So that's alarming, and we should never forget 9/11. The number one killed more law enforcement officers ever in the country was 9/11.
And so we work closely with Border Patrol on these things. So that's why you see a lot of Cochise County in the local, state, and national spotlight when it comes to media and trying to get that information out there.
Well, it is, and we want to give the facts out there. And under public safety, national security, and humanitarian, that's always been the 3 objective driving forces that we'll always talk about on this show, and I'll continue to talk about, because these people that are being exploited by the cartels into our country, the drugs, the people that want to harm Americans. That's why I say 9/11. I mean, these people came here to harm Americans. Same thing here. We got to know who's coming across our borders and what their thoughts are, and if they go through a legal process, we'll know. At least we'll have a better idea than when we don't. So,
and one of the things that we're working on, like in addition to that, is an internal issue with rabies. And we talked to our USDA agent yesterday and wanted to make sure that everybody knows, please have your animals vaccinated. It's really important. They have a gray fox issue in St. David, and what that is, these animals are commingling with cats or dogs that you leave outside, and they've had a serious situation. One of the gray foxes came back and it was positive. So the USDA agent is taking care of some other issues with that in St. David. But it's kind of scary, so make sure, especially if it's a house pet you have outside and then it comes into contact with you and then they get exposed to rabies and then you get exposed to rabies, and that's just not a way that you want to get sick.
No, it's not. And Al Thomason's our USDA officer for us here in the county, works directly with mammal control officers and the sheriff's office, and he works very strong with the ranching community because of the feral animals, especially under the rabies aspects of it. It's scary. I talked to Al last night over in St. David. He's been working pretty much every day over there dealing with this issue, because once they contract with a rabid animal, with a domestic animal, it's a bad situation. It truly is, and that's what he's dealing with over there. So thank you, Al, for what you do too.
It's getting dry out there as well, and we had a Riggs fire at Mount Graham last week, and we had a fire last night as well.
We did. Some people saw maybe the tankers flying over Cochise County out of Sierra Vista. They're housed at Libby here on Fort Huachuca, but they were flying out about 6:30 last night because they had a fire in the canyon there in Old Bisbee, and so they went in there and they put that out. And wait to see some of the details. I know our detectives were out there and our deputies were out there helping them with Bisbee PD last night, so we'll see what happens on that, but be careful out there. It's so dry. I don't think I've ever seen this dry in a long time, where you just drive down the highway, you look into the ranch lands and the fields, and it's just dirt, and it's really bad right now.
And they're supposed to have some kind of storm front coming. It's not going to hit Cochise County, but what it will do is it's hitting the eastern part and northeastern part of the state. But they say get ready for dry lightning. That's not something we're looking forward to.
No, and it's teasing us. That's just a tease.
It is.
It's truly a tease. And everybody said it's going to be a wet monsoon. Good. We'll see if that comes through. We're having unique weather, so I'm hoping we have a good wet monsoon. I really do. We need it so bad.
And we usually in your section with a safety message of the week, but today you want to do a community message of the week.
Yes, I want to do a community message, and it goes around Police Week, like we've been talking a lot about on this show this morning, and that is when you see a law enforcement officer, state, local, federal, military, agent, whoever it may be, thank them. Thank them. It's been a rough year. There's no doubt about it, and I'm so proud to be a sheriff in this county, to serve the badges, the multi-badges that I work with and work for in many ways. So thank a cop. truly thank a cop, and it goes so far when you see that, and we hear that a lot. I mean, I do. It's amazing. We get emails and we get letters from all over the community and beyond where people say thank you for what you do. So we got to continue sharing that message, and I can promise you no law enforcement officers out there getting rich. So they're doing it because they passionately care about serving their community. So, yeah, thank a cop. That's my message.
All right, Sheriff Mark Daniels, we thank you for coming and talking to us today.
Thanks, Grady. Thanks, Carol. Thank you, everyone. Have a safe week.
And who do we have coming in next, Carol?
We have the City of Sierra Vista, Adam Curtis, and he's going to tell you all things Sierra Vista.
First Watch, KWCD Country, brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
It's First Watch Now.
Hosted by Public Information Officer Carol Kappas and Grady Butler.
On 92.3 KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, giving you an inside look into your sheriff's office. I'm Grady Butler, and with me I've got Adam Curtis from the City of Sierra Vista. Good morning.
Good morning. It's great to be here.
So what do you do at the City of Sierra Vista?
So as Public Information Officer, I do a lot of the communications and marketing for the city. So that's press releases, social media, photography, videography, and a bunch of other stuff.
That sounds like fun.
It is. Yeah, it keeps me very busy.
Well, let's start with Police Week. This week is Police Week. What is the City of Sierra Vista doing for that?
Yeah, so we actually partnered with the Sheriff's Office and law enforcement agencies throughout the county to produce a Police Week remembrance video that we released on the Sierra Vista Police, Fire, and EMS Facebook page on Monday. So folks can still go check that out. But basically, it's a week to honor and remember law enforcement officers who have fallen in the line of duty. And we've had 29 here in Cochise County. And there's actually a memorial outside the Sierra Vista Police Department, which is a great place to learn more and pay your own respects and kind of honor those folks yourself. So in addition to that, today we're actually releasing a podcast with Chief Thrasher. So he'll talk a little bit more about this and a bunch of other stuff. That's called the Let's Talk Sierra Vista podcast. You can find that on our website or many of the major podcast apps, and that'll be out later this morning. One of the other things we talk about in that is the Citizen Police Academy. So that is there's a class going on right now, but we're getting ready for our next session that starts up in August. And this is a great chance for local adults to get a behind-the-scenes look into the police department and really all the different stuff they do. So over the course of about a dozen weeks, one evening a week, you really get an in-depth look into a wide variety of police work and get to know our department a little bit better. So if folks are interested in that, they can actually stop by the PD in person, pick up an application, go to our website, which is sierravistaaz.gov, and search for Citizen Police Academy. You can also find the application online. Applications are due by June 4th.
What are the requirements for that?
So basically, it's a free class. You just have to be an adult, but if you have a criminal record, that could be a problem. So there is kind of a light background check associated with it because you do get access kind of behind the scenes to the PD. But all the details are online, and you can also talk to Lily Perry over at the PD if folks have any questions. But I've sat through a couple of the classes. I've taken photos of some of the stuff they do, and it's super interesting. It's just stuff the public normally doesn't have access to, and it's a great way to kind of learn about our department, see the culture and history, and just kind of get to know some of the folks who work over there. It's just a lot of fun. I mean, you get to do some pretty cool stuff like simulated firearms training is kind of fun. You learn about narcotics, and you get to see like the evidence rooms and all that kind of stuff. Just stuff people normally don't get to see.
Well, let's talk about some events that are coming up since CDC has updated their guidelines from yesterday. People are getting vaccinated. Things are starting to open up. And I know the City of Sierra Vista has got some plans. So can you walk us through some of the stuff that's coming over the next couple of months?
Yeah, so we are very excited. It is so refreshing to be able to actually host some events this year and get back to a little bit of normalcy. So the first big thing that's coming up is our signature Sips and Skies events are returning this year. So that includes the Wine, Beer, and Spirits Festival in Veterans Memorial Park and the Sky Island Summit Challenge. And that takes place, both of those events, on Saturday, May 29th to kick off Memorial Day weekend. The Wine, Beer, and Spirits Festival will be noon to 7 p.m. in Veterans Memorial Park. You can get tickets in advance on Eventbrite.com or at the gate for $5 more. That includes 10 sampling tickets. That's for the spirits and the wine. The beer is actually sold by the glass. And we have a bunch of area vineyards and wineries participating, and a couple craft breweries and distilleries. And we have a couple local bands that will be playing either end of the venue. If folks have attended the event in the past, you'll remember that it's up by the pavilion. But partially due to COVID and just kind of reimagining the event, we're spreading it out among the grassy area, kind of towards the front of the park. So people will be able to meander among the shade trees and enjoy music at either end of the grassy venue this year. And then kind of interspersed among the tasting booths, we'll have Huachuca Art Association Fine Art booths. We're partnering with them for the first time on this event this year. So that'll be kind of a pop-up fine art event within that wine fest. And the other side of that is we're excited that Art in the Park will be a go this year as well. So that'll be the first weekend in October. And on Saturday, October 2nd, we're going to pop up a little Vineyards in the Park mini wine tasting event as part of Art in the Park, which is just kind of a cool way to enhance that event and also enhance our wine fest at the same time. So we're really excited that not only are our events coming back online, but we're able to process special event permits and get community events going as well, which is just awesome to see. It's been a little while, so it's really great to see this stuff move forward. So in that vein, this news will be coming out more today, I hope, but we're working with the Sierra Vista Rotary Club in partnership with Fort Huachuca as well on plans for 4th of July.
Nice.
Yeah, and a lot of folks are really excited. It is going to be a much more full 4th of July this year. So that includes the ground show that we didn't have last year, and folks will be able to get up close to the fireworks and the sports fields if they want to do that, which is just an awesome way to see the show, because if you've never seen the ground aspect of it, it adds a whole new dimension, whereas if you're kind of watching from your house or around town, you kind of only get to see the aerial side of it. But yeah, other events in the park will be coming back, so the midday ceremony, the chili cook-off, kind of the normal whole shebang should be online again this year. So we'll be announcing more in partnership with the Rotary Club soon, and we're really excited to get that event going too. So we have some other stuff too. The new wave machine at the Cove, we're actually going to turn on for the public for the very first time at the Welcome the Waves Open Swim on Sunday, May 30th. So that's the day after the Sips and Skies events. That'll run from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Cove. And we're going to start hosting open swims more regularly again after that. But this is the first time the community will get to experience waves at the Cove for a few years now. So that should be a whole lot of fun. Open swim fees do apply for that event. And rolling back, I should probably mention that you can still get into the Sky Island Summit Challenge if you want to. We actually broke past records for participants so far, so we're around 190 or so, I think.
Everybody wants to get out.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's just a fun event. I mean, I always go up and take photos, so I haven't been able to participate, but I have to hike a lot to take the photos too. But it's just gorgeous to get up in the Huachuca Mountains, and you can challenge 1, 2, or 3 peaks. So if you just want to do a 10-plus mile hike, that's fine. You can also go for the 18-plus mile hike, which is quite a long day, but it's an awesome adventure. We get a lot of folks from Phoenix and Tucson that just can't believe the environment we have down here, honestly, and they've been coming back year after year now and really enjoy the event. You can sign up for that event on active.com. It tops out at 250 people, and we haven't quite hit that yet, so there still is time. So if you're interested in that, I definitely encourage folks to check it out. In the competitive kind of sporting vein, or maybe not totally competitive, we're doing a 5K color run on Saturday, June 12th, and that'll be the first color run the city has ever hosted. So if you've ever seen photos and stuff of these events, they are super fun. Basically, it's a cornstarch based powder that has dyes or stuff in it to add these kind of fun colors, and every kilometer spectators and folks will shoot the runners with this powder, and it'll get splashed over everybody. So it's not exactly a competitive run. You can treat it a little competitively, but it's honestly just a real fun event. And then I actually forgot about this, and I need to get some more details. They'll be coming out very soon on this too. But on the night of July 3rd, so before all the 4th of July stuff, we're playing a 5K glow run. Ooh. Yeah, so that'll be in Veterans Memorial Park area around our sports facilities in the Rothery area that we purchased last year. So that'll be another kind of way to just have more fun on your 4th of July weekend. And the San Pedro Kiwanis Just Kids Incorporated are also moving forward with their July 3rd and the evening street dance. So I don't believe they're going to host their youth talent show, but they are going to move forward with the street dance. So it'll feel, much more like a typical 4th of July weekend in Sierra Vista, which we love our 4th of July here. It's a huge deal for our community. So it's going to be really, really nice for folks to be able to get out there and feel that familiar sense of community and fun and camaraderie that we've been missing for a little while.
Now, that was a lot of events and a lot of information that you just put out there for us, and that is excellent. So how can we get all this information through your Facebook and web pages? I know you've got a lot going on online as well.
Yeah, so for most of these events, they're listed on the City of Sierra Vista Facebook page. I'd also encourage folks to follow the Sierra Vista Public Library Facebook page. They are also resuming in-person story times and a bunch of programming, and they also still have some virtual programming going on as well. And I would also encourage folks to follow Sierra Vista Police, Fire, and EMS. Like I mentioned, that's where you can find that Police Week video. But also check out our website at sierravistaaz.gov. We have a community calendar there where you can see these events. And you can also submit your events. So say your community group hosting an event or something like that, you can just go to that calendar tab, click Submit an Event, fill out a form, and get it on our community calendar as well.
And also, before you go, I have a question about the park over on Taylor Drive. I see you guys are doing some work over there. What's happening with that park?
Yeah, so I think you're talking about Soldier Creek Park. And so KE&G finished their side of the project. It was a community development block grant funded project. They constructed this really nice multi-use path connection that will connect into the loop around the park. It also provides ADA access from the curb to the park. But we are now adding some landscaping, and within the budget, stretching it with our in-house staff to complete some landscaping work. But later down the road, we'll be announcing probably some crowdsourcing associated with it to add some kind of funner, interesting amenities that we weren't able to fit into the budget. And that includes a slide down from the top of the hill into the park. But the really cool thing is this all links in with the park across the street, which is Landwehr Plaza, which is this really kind of small little pocket park. But by linking those two properties together, we're able to activate that whole space. And the vision we have for it is it'll be a place where you can have kind of mid-sized, smaller community events on the West End on a regular basis, where you can have food trucks over at Landwehr Plaza. We've constructed a loop over there suited for that. And then you can cross the street over into Soldier Creek Park, where it's suitable for bands, gatherings, all that kind of stuff. And the two areas combined will really activate that space for enhanced use and get folks out there on a much more regular basis. And that'll tie in with our improvements that we're planning on West Fry Boulevard and North Garden Avenue. So there's a lot going on in the West End, honestly. Through our West End partnership program, we're funding a lot of the murals you'll see that have been popping up around town and other improvements at businesses. And it's so nice to see some of the property owners and businesses take advantage of that program and start expressing excitement and buying into the vision we have for the West End, which is just basically making it a walkable downtown kind of entertainment district, giving you that downtown feeling that so many people have wanted to see come to Sierra Vista. I know when I moved here, it was the first thing that I felt lost at first. It's hard to kind of get a grasp and get that first introduction to the community right away. Once you learn it, you get to know it and you really like it. But if we can get that entertainment district, we really think it'll help with recruiting the higher level professional positions. It'll help keep younger folks here because there's more entertainment for them here. And it'll just give people that sense of, this is the heart of the community and this is what Sierra Vista is about, and we'll get that introduction done in such a more welcoming way right away versus, you have to spend a little more time to familiarize yourself with stuff and kind of get a sense for the whole community. There's a big vision for all of that, and there's many different pieces, and more news will be coming out on that this year as well. But you'll see a lot of improvements already in the West End, and we're just so excited to finally be able to take some action over there and really make some meaningful difference. It's something the community has been lobbying for decades. I mean, I've been here for, I guess, over a decade now, which is kind of scary. But I know past my time here, it's been talked about forever. And, folks get tired of planning and talking about stuff. So it's so awesome to finally be able to move forward and get some action done on that. And then another thing that happened this week is the governor signed off on the declaration of Sierra Vista as the hummingbird capital of Arizona. So our unofficial moniker for many years has been the hummingbird capital of the U.S., and we'll still use that. But we will also probably work with our U.S. representatives and senators to try to get this designation on the national stage as well. But for people who don't know, we enjoy an extraordinary diversity of wildlife of all kinds, but hummingbirds in particular. You can see more species here throughout the year than just about anywhere. And that includes birds of all kinds. I mean, we're kind of famous among birders. Folks around here may not realize that because birding is such a niche thing, but people travel from all over the world to come to Sierra Vista just for birding. So this is a perfect little kind of hook for us, and hummingbirds are such a unique, beautiful, interesting bird that we're really excited for the coverage it'll give us and kind of the notoriety it can give us, because you know how tourism works. I mean, you need a gimmick, kind of. You need a hook. We're much more than just the hummingbird capital, but that's a great entry point. That's a great way to get people in the door and get our name out there. So we're so excited about that. Gwen Calhoun kind of championed that on our way out of council last year, and we really appreciate our reps who helped sponsor that and get that moving forward. And we're so excited to see that finally come to fruition.
You are just so much fun to listen to because you have so much information. I love it. So thank you for coming and talking to us today.
No problem. Anytime.
That's Adam Curtis from the city of Sierra Vista. And coming up next, we've got the Sierra Vista Chamber of Commerce to talk about the Health, Wealth, and Lifestyle Fair. That's tomorrow. It's First Watch on KWCD, brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
It's First Watch Now.
Hosted by Public Information Officer Carol Kappas and Grady Butler.
On 92.3 KWCD.
Brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, giving you an inside look into your sheriff's office. I'm Grady Butler, and we have our next guest, Melody, from the Sierra Vista Area Chamber of Commerce. Good morning.
Good morning, Grady.
So tomorrow is the Health, Wealth, and Lifestyle Fair, one of the first big events that we get to attend.
Oh, we are so excited. It's been over a year since we were able to host this due to COVID, and we are back in person tomorrow from 10 to 3 at the mall at Sierra Vista.
So what are we going to find when we go to the mall tomorrow?
Well, we have lots of vendors there. I think we have over 35 vendors that are going to be there. I'll give you an example of some of those. We have Air Evac Services, American Southwest Credit Union, Friends of the Library Bookstore, Legacy Foundation, Practical Fitness Training by Teresa, the Salvation Army, Valor Hospice Care. We just have a wide variety of vendors out there, and obviously they have to do with health, wealth, or lifestyle, which is pretty much anything. We're also going to have speakers this year. So we're really excited about that. We'll have speakers going on throughout the fair. We'll have a stage set up down at the old Sears end of the mall. And we're going to have 2 speakers from Canyon Vista Medical Center. We're going to have Dr. Alicia Thompson, the health director of Cochise County. We'll have Anna Eichenbrock. She's the director at NAMI. Laura Villa, the director of Area Agency on Aging for SEGO. The Sierra Vista Community Theater is going to be doing a short skit as well for us. Shelby Weller from Casa de la Paz Hospice, and Jennifer Patterson from Senior Solutions Medicare Insurance. So those are our speakers that we have going on throughout the day tomorrow.
And there's also some events outside the mall.
There is going to be events outside the mall. We do have a bloodmobile that's going to be there. You have to pre-register for that. So just go to svachamber.com. You'll see a link there, and you can get registered to give blood tomorrow. We're going to have Thunder Vet Set out there in the parking lot. We just have a lot going on.
And also, this is absolutely free to go to. It doesn't cost anything. You just show up and start to go through the mall and see all the vendors.
Absolutely. Free to everybody who wants to come and participate and talk with our vendors. It's a great opportunity to get out there and support our local businesses as well. It's been a year, so we're excited about that. But come out and, we spent a year focusing on our health. And we kind of put wealth and lifestyle on the back burner for a year. But this is the opportunity to get out there and really focus again on how we got through this and how we all stayed healthy for the most part through this, and how we can focus on our wealth and our lifestyle as we open things back up. As you just heard Adam, from the city talk about all of those wonderful events that are coming up with the city of Sierra Vista. We have a lot of events at the chamber coming up as well. So we're just really excited about, getting out there and making that lifestyle what it used to be.
And if you haven't been to the mall in a while, it's actually kind of got a few more stores that you may not know about.
Oh, we're so excited for the mall. The mall has really, I think they're at about 85% capacity now. So if you haven't been out to the mall recently, you really need to come out, check out the fair tomorrow, and wander through the mall and check out all the new stores that are open in the mall and the activities that are actually open in the mall now.
And last time you were here, you talked about a new program that the Chamber of Commerce is putting out for shopping online. Is there any new developments on that?
So the new developments on that is there are a couple of local marketplaces that are just opening up now, and we're going to have more detail on that. But this program is a free program through the Chamber of Commerce, and it is open to all businesses, whether you're a chamber member or not, across Cochise County. The whole idea is to help you get your business online so that you can take part in that $6.4 trillion by 2024 in e-commerce. And so we know that a lot of businesses suffered through the pandemic, and it was because they weren't online. So people couldn't book appointments. They couldn't shop online at the store. They were simply brick and mortar businesses. And so 50% of shoppers were not comfortable going into a store due to COVID. And 64% of shoppers are more comfortable still and prefer to shop online. So that's a lot of folks that are not walking into our brick and mortar businesses. We want to help them stay open. We want the brick and mortar business open, but we also want them to prosper. So it's a free program. So if you're interested, just go to svachamber.com and click on the link at the top that says Shop Local Online and fill out the interest form, and we will get in contact.
Does that work for service businesses as well?
Absolutely. Obviously, a plumber can't, sell toilet repair or whatever it may be, but you can certainly complete an interest form. You can learn more about that business, so you don't necessarily have to sell retail to be online. And more consumers trust businesses that are online, and so that's what we really 80% more. So that's a big difference. So if your business isn't online, it really needs to be if you want to succeed into the future.
All right, so back to the Health, Wealth, and Lifestyle Fair that's tomorrow. Let's thank your sponsors, because I know you've got some people that got behind this for you that you want to thank.
Absolutely. Really want to thank our sponsors. They've really come through for us this year. And so our gold sponsors are Canyon Vista Medical Center and P3 Health Partners. And, of course, our media sponsors, Herald Review Media and, of course, Cherry Creek Media.
So invite everybody out to the Health, Wealth, and Lifestyle Fair one more time before we go.
Absolutely. Come on out tomorrow at the mall at Sierra Vista between 10 and 3. Grady's going to be out there with us, and Val tomorrow as well. So please make sure you come out, enjoy the mall, see what's new at the mall, and talk to our vendors.
Thanks for talking to us today, Melody.
Thank you.
It's First Watch on KWCD Country, brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
You've been listening to First Watch with the Cochise County Sheriff's Office.
Hosted by Cochise County Public Information Officers Carol Kappas and Grady Butler.
Join us again next Friday morning, 7 to 8 a.m.
First Watch.
What you need to know from the Cochise County Sheriff's Office.
Only on 92.3 KWCD.